Good morning, everyone. Welcome to American Scousers. Morning coffee or tea with American Scouser on a Friday morning. And it's time to be reckless. So reckless that Cozzy is actually going to join us, but he's hopping on and off. Tech difficulties from an IT guy is just not a good look overall. But Gally is with us. What's happening?
What's happening? It's Friday. Excited to be here. Excited to get back to another weekend of Premier League action.
Yeah, that's the only thing I'm looking forward to. I'll be honest. This whole Isak thing and all that, the transfer window has become contract talk territory for me now. I'm normally not big on transfer windows. I was this season. I thought it was like exciting, like what we're going to do and stuff like that. But this Isak thing has really drained me because it feels like the same people are saying the same thing over and over and again. Everybody has dug in. And I'm not talking about Isak and Eddie Howe and Newcastle and stuff. Like pundits and people who comment on these things, everybody has dug into their stance and not changing it, regardless of as the facts change and stuff. I just don't understand how people's takes or approach doesn't change at all. They're like, doesn't matter. I'm sticking to what I said 2 weeks ago, even though now we know this.
Yeah, I think that purely because they've inundated my timeline on Twitter, Blue Sky, X, whatever the hell you want to call these things. The Craig Hopes, the Lewis Steels, these are like northern-based reporters. So, Lewis Steele has basically been saying all along, Liverpool are shite, Isak's a liar. He's basically just regurgitating what the club wants him to say. So he's being briefed directly from the club, what their stance is on everything. Yet other journalists are then kind of breaking that. And then you have the Ornsteins of the world, going on national television, both in the UK and in America. And every chance he can being like, this isn't over yet. The shoe will turn. We will move. It's just one of these things. It couldn't end quick enough because, to be honest, I might have to just mute the word Newcastle on all social media platforms because I really can't stand it at this point. It's just got to come to an end.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. It's just like, just come to the 31st already kind of a deal. But we do have business that we do need to take care of. And maybe that's another fear. I almost get the sense that, we're kind of like ending the transfer window in a more FSG fashion than how we started the transfer window. And I'm like getting worried where we're going to do all this solid business. But then, it's almost like gonna do like a really good paper, but not put our name on it before we submit. It's kind of an ordeal where it's not going to be a complete work and you're not going to get full credit for it because, you're going to be a center back short or you're going to be short up front. And that's probably my biggest worry. I know we have like another 9 days and all the dominoes that we thought were going to fall 2-3 weeks ago we were talking, right? Oh, this is when they'll start falling kind of a thing, beginning of August. It's happening now. The here we goes are coming more like fast and furious now. I kind of expected that pace to be earlier on. Speaking of pace, Cozzy.
I was here on time. Can you confirm?
We did confirm. We let them know you were having some technical issues, but you're with us now. So welcome back. Welcome back to this side of the pond. How was before we get into the transfers and the sagas?
Sagas.
It is a saga. Let's be honest. How was your trip home? How was your time on the other side of the pond? And any stories to tell us from the Shield?
No, mate. It was great. Listen, it was amazing seeing the family and all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? It's when you do live over here, it is nice that you kind of cherish the memories more, I suppose, and cherish the time that you spend with family now. So, no, man, it was great. It was a good time. It was nice to be back. Jet lag is officially over. We are back into this.
It's kind of like nice, isn't it? Like when you go back, you're like a celebrity. Everybody's trying to get with you. They're like, we should go out to eat. I'll take you here and stuff. Like you
get like passed around like a bong at a 17-year-old birthday party, and you're like, I don't know what's going on. I'm just going from pillow to post, just getting passed around to people. But because I was over there for such an extended period of time, it was nice to actually just kind of relax a bit. Because when you go over there for like 10 days, it's like every day is like booked. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like I'm just this far too much socializing here for my liking. So now
Yeah.
it's nice to be back. It is nice to be back and get into this old. I just heard Timucin's comments about ending this in the FSG manner and not what we thought it was going to be, which is kind of funny. But there we go.
Yeah, where are you at with all this? I'm sure you guys talked about it yesterday. I usually listen to your guys Thursday nights as I work during Friday. Like basically right after this is when I'll be listening to you guys. But where are you at? I was just telling Gally that I'm just sick and tired. I just want it to be another 9 days over here. If I could fast forward, I would. Kind of an ordeal to see where it's going to happen and what's going to end, because it's the same thing over and over and over again. And I know nothing is going to change at least till Monday. Maybe that's what it is. Like, you know, at least if we can fast forward till Monday, maybe things will change after that. But where are you at? How do you think it ends?
I mean, I think listen, I don't think it can't be left like it is right now. Liverpool are considerably weaker than they were last year. Considerably weaker, especially up front. Considerably
Up front,
weaker.
yes.
Yeah, like, you know, you can argue, you know, in other positions, there's probably an argument that we are weaker at centre half because we knew what we were getting out of Kwanzaa. We don't know what we're getting out of this Italian kid, Leone. We have no idea what he's like. Looks like a big kid, doesn't he? Bit of a unit, at least. But again, do you want him starting Premier League games? I'm not sure. I'm frustrated as much as anyone. I'm not as concerned as I would be usually, because I feel like Liverpool will be shooting themselves in the foot with the opportunity we have right now if they do leave us short in any way. And I tried to explain this last night. The Isak deal is not an easy deal to do. It is a very difficult deal to do with a guy who's got 3 years left on his deal. At 26, 25, 26. With a club who doesn't want to sell him. When you're about to break the British transfer record fee. It's not as easy as that. And as I was trying to explain to people last night, you've also got to wait for the time which is right for Newcastle. By the sounds of it, Newcastle, when I seen, of course, the exact statements about the broken promises, I think that means a new contract and maybe even leaving the club. But if he asked about leaving the club, no one wants to sign for Newcastle. Why would Newcastle want to let him go and leave themselves short? It makes sense to them to keep hold of the asset. But there's also a part of this, gents, which, again, no one kind of talks about. It's probably beneficial to Liverpool to wait longer. It's probably beneficial. People probably getting him cheaper. If you're going, well, then you can just sit there till January, then you're not going to play him, and we'll just sign him for 70 million in January. Like, it's up to you, lads, how you want to play this. Do you know what I mean? So there's that part. I do think Liverpool sign 3. I think they get Gay in, which is annoying me because that felt like that could have been done earlier. That could have been in, really. Let's get it right.
We how fast they did the Eze deal, right? Like, you would think that would have been just as fast. I mean, we're very quick to pull that plug if we met the evaluation that Palace had.
I think they've struggled getting the replacement in that they wanted. They wanted that Diamande guy for a while from Sporting. It didn't happen. Then they had a bid accepted by Inter Milan for Brezic or one of their I think it was Inter, or it was an Italian team. They had the deal accepted for 30 million, and he was absolutely the Gahey replacement, and he rejected going to Palace. So I think they've missed on a couple options. I do think Parrish's comments that he has to go or sign a new deal is why Liverpool is honestly waiting. I think to Cozzy's point about Isak, I think they think the closer to the deadline it gets, they'll meet our price. The other thing is there was some talk that they wanted him for both legs of this European qualifier to make sure they get into the conference.
That makes sense.
So I have a feeling that he's going to play this weekend. He played great yesterday, by the way. If you see his stats, I know it was his numbers yesterday were like off the charts. But I'm with Cozzy. I'm excited about the unit of a kid. I'm also excited about him being 5th choice if Gomez can be fit for a little bit and letting him slowly bed in. I think Gahey's a perfect signing because he pushes Konate at times for his starting spot. And I think we saw the best of Konate because the manager actually started another kid, albeit was only for 45 minutes. But he kind of told him he was number 3 last year and that he had to stay fit and be healthy. I'm worried as well, but I do think we'll get the 2 in, if not 3 by the end of the window. I think we do need 3. And I think the bigger part of why I feel a little bit uneasy is the fact that we already have, 45 minutes of EPL football and Jeremy Frimpong's hamstrings don't work. And Connor Bradley has proven to us in 2+ seasons of minimal football that he's not ready for the workload of the Premier League as a right back. So, The biggest disappointment for me this week was Joe Gomez wasn't fit enough to start, because I thought Gomez, when he came on, was one of the best players against Bournemouth for 20 minutes. He was by far our best defender outside of Virgil.
I mean, the problem with that is it makes the center back depth even worse, because now you're actually sliding Gomez to the right-hand side, and he has become right back depth.
And this is why if you get Gahey in, I think Leone comes your fourth.
Yeah.
Gomez is your spare part. That does it all. I think Gomez can just do it all for you. He can do your right back, do your left back. You know, I'm very unsure on Kirkes at the moment. He looks like a competition winner. He looks like a fucking fish out of water when he's playing. I've never like such an awful start from him.
How much of that was? I mean, mind you, the Palace game was not great either. Like, how much of it is tactical? How much of that is like last week? He was going against not only was going against Semenyo, but he was more going against his old team.
Load of garbage. That he was garbage against Palace. He was terrible against Palace at Wembley. He looked like the odd one out. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm not saying
he always looks like he went out. That's part of the problem.
It looks like exactly, but I'm not here to say he's not going to be a top player. I don't know. The jury's well out on him, right? He's had a good start at Bournemouth. He hasn't had a good start at Liverpool right now. But Liverpool have Robertson, which is the backup, which is a wonderful position to be in for the lad. So I actually see Robertson starting this weekend. I would have started Gomez if Gomez was fit. Even if Frimpong and Bradley were fit, I still would have started Gomez. And I don't think it draws an awful result here. I really don't think it draws an awful result. Because if you always remember, Arsenal have a horrific record against Newcastle. Like an awful, they take their bogey teams, Newcastle.
Yeah.
So Kirkes has been awful. Frimpong's been fine to good. I don't think he's pulled any trees up, but I think he's been he's been good, which is fine. You're new to the team. It's been frustrating, gents, because of the fact of the fitness of the other players. That's where my issues come in again. But you know what you're getting out of Bradley and Gomez. You know what you're getting. There's been you're not surprised that Joe Gomez is injured, are we? Are we surprised? No. Are you surprised that Conor Bradley's injured? No. But the manager also knows that. So the manager must have knew they might have been at a point. This is a frank. We're second game into the season, Newcastle away, that we could be signing Szoboszlai right back. That could happen this weekend. Feasibly happen.
I'm assuming that's what I want to happen.
I think it is going to happen.
Ask you guys, but that's what I want to happen. I don't want to see Endo or Curtis Jones over there. I'd rather have Szoboszlai with his pace at least over there.
The reason why I'd rather have Szoboszlai, if Conor Bradley can do 30 minutes, if I do Szoboszlai on the 60 mark, Gravenberch can't play full 90. I think we all agree. Right. So I mentioned this yesterday. So on the 60 mark, he can do Gravenberch for Jones. So
why can't Gravenberch play all 90?
Fitness. I just think fitness. I want him fully fit for Arsenal. I don't know about you. I want him to do an hour now and give me.
But it's not like he didn't play because he wasn't fit. He was suspended.
Yeah, but there's also a difference between game fit, match fit.
Oh, I guess. I mean, but
he didn't play.
Like, did he not play?
He didn't play against Palace because he didn't
play against Palace. That's right.
And then the week before that, he only played 45 minutes in the second preseason match in Japan. Or
I don't know if McAllister has 90. I guess it helps the fact that we're playing Monday. Yes. So there's more extended time, but that also means there's less time between Newcastle and Arsenal.
If Gravenberch does 90, I'll be absolutely over. I'm happy, of course, if he's fully fit for 90 and he can do it. But I don't think he can. But I also think you want him right for Arsenal, don't you? If the manager says I want his fitness to be right, it's for Arsenal. But I also think if you do Szoboszlai right back, gents, there's a sub there on the 60 or 70 where you can do Wirtz for Bradley and put Szoboszlai back in his position and put Bradley right back. So I think when you're doing Jones, I don't think you can put Jones in that 8 where you've got to make another sub. Do you get what I mean? Like it's an extra sub to get Szoboszlai back in that role, which I think that's why the manager might do. I think he'll start with Gravenberch, Maka, and Wirtz, but I think it might end up Jones, Maka, and Szoboszlai.
Oddly, we were talking about how is he going to get all 4 on the pitch. Well, there you go. You can make Szoboszlai the right back.
I mentioned earlier. I'd mentioned on Monday night too, because similar to your point, like say Gomez, at that point we didn't know Gomez wasn't training. I'd kind of called for Gomez and Robertson to be instituted, put your big boy defensive team in. It's going to be a physical battle. The fans want to fight. Joe Linton's going to want to fight. Guimaraes is going to be throwing elbows. Like, don't get sucked into it. I thought there was a world where, if he had to, he might even start his tried and true midfield for the running and everything and either push Wirtz into the attacking line. Because I think you really, when you look at that bench right now, when you have basically Chiesa and Elliott to turn to for attacking prowess, if you're at a place like St. James's Park, I think the manager would have liked to have had a Verts or an Ekatike to bring on against a tired Dan Burn, but you can't because of the fitness. And now you don't have these guys. You're going to have to play Soboslai. It kind of shoehorns itself in. You get Soboslai and his running into that midfield, into that defensive setup. You get his work rate. You get his passing from deep, and you move forward that way. This is just going to be one that you can guarantee within 5 minutes, Florian Wirtz's going to have to pick himself up from a Joe Linton tackle or two. Like, Joe Linton yellow card in 20 minutes is probably the best bet in the book.
Well, honestly, I would be all for that, getting in the yellow card early, but I don't think he's smart enough not to do that. You're going
to get a referee who's going to go, oh, we're not booking today. The captains will be in the rear now before the game. Oh, it's going to be a feisty affair, let the game go and all this kind of stuff. You're going to get that kind of bollocks. And then the referee will feel like, oh, I've got to let the game go and just let clear bookings happen across the field. And Joe Linton will get booked on the 85th minute for his first.
Yeah, that's why I feel like more. I mean, they expect him to hurt someone. I mean, honestly, don't you expect fucking Joe Linton to hurt someone in any freaking game? I feel like going back to the ref thing, I do think, though, there will be an early yellow or two, but I don't think it will be to a key person. Like, it will be somebody pressing up top or something like that. Just set the tone, like to an attacker. If I'm a ref, that's what I'm doing. Like,
Cody Gakpo's getting booked.
Yes, Cody Gakpo, exactly.
Mo will get a yellow card that isn't for taking his shirt off.
Yeah, Mo will have a 50-50 battle, get wrestled to the ground, and you'll book Mo. And you're like,
I feel like that's the kind of yellow you're gonna get early on, just to set the tone, and so the ref. Who is the ref? Do we know?
No idea.
Like it'll be fucking Oliver or something.
Taylor,
I didn't even look, to be honest with you, but you need someone who's going to kind of like, keep it under control. I don't know. Like, here's my thing, I guess, Cozzy. Everybody's talking about, oh, it's going to be a battle and stuff like that. First of all, whenever we go to St. James Park, especially with their midfield, it's a battle anyway. So that, what I mean? I mean, do you think the players have any extra grudge in a game like this? Because what do they really care as much? And we were actually talking about this. We were actually talking about this with my brother and Rival Bros, where when there's a story, Simon Hooper, no freaking way, dude. Don't tell me. I hope that's a Bickler Friday morning joke, because that would be brutal. But no, I mean, we were talking with my brother in terms of, there's Isak's story, there's Newcastle's story. And to me, maybe because we're Liverpool fans, Isak's story is a lot more believable. If anybody knows behind the scenes which story is the truth, it's the players, Cozzy. Yep. Like, it's his buddies on the team. So especially if it's Isak's story, that's the truth. Why would anybody on the pitch have an additional grudge for Liverpool? It's just going to be an away game at St. James Park. I think any hard tackle is going to be assigned to the saga, even though it has nothing to do with it.
It's not about... You can't make bad challenges anymore. You can't, leave one on someone anymore. That's what VAR is for. So that day of football, gents, that we kind of grew up with, is kind of dead and buried, in effect. Do you know what I mean? Listen, the players are all in the business. We always forget that. It's a job. It is a job. And we have to really think about this. Playing football is a job, and they all get paid to do it. All the players at Newcastle will be doing, in my opinion, not maybe doing as drastic as Isak, but we'll all be wanting to sign for Liverpool. That's not a disrespectful thing. Like, I seen Isak's post, and then I suppose 5 minutes later, Bruno put a picture on Instagram of him cheering, kissing the Newcastle badge or something. You're like, mate, you have £100 million buyout clause in your contract. Don't sit there and think you'll die hard loyal, mate. If Liverpool came in with a £100 million bid, now you go. You literally have a buyout clause.
Yeah. He tried to go to City. It was when they turned down the option of buying him that he all of a sudden signed the new contract, which he guaranteed a buyout clause in, so he could go to Barcelona, Real Madrid, or City. Come on, shut up.
So this is my point as well. There's that argument. I don't think. Listen, this is a game where Newcastle. It's a hard away game. They finished fourth in the Prem, or fifth in the Prem. They are they're a good side. I think they have one of the best midfield in Europe, in my opinion. I think they're very balanced. I actually like the attack. I like Gordon. I like Barnes. I like Alanga. I think Jacob Ramsey's a good signing. Jacob Murphy's a good player. Do you know what I mean? So I think they have really good attackers as well. It's going to be an hard game of footy. Does this provide some motivation? Not for the players, really, probably, but for the fans, which might get the players up. If you know what I mean. They might give them the extra inch or extra yard. But going back to what you said at the beginning, about going to the tried and tested old midfield, I remember. I think that Wembley game sticks in his mind a bit. Where we just got ran all over by them, and I just think he needs more energy. I just think he might just want to try something different. So it was the same midfield, I think, at Wembley for the Szoboszlai thingy. I think what Verts offers you, he might just need. You know what? I need someone who can take the ball in the half turn. So when they're like, when Bruno's trying to pile into, he's looking at him on the half turn and just ghost off him. Do you know what I mean? A bit like a Thiago,
if you will,
or like a Gravenberch turn even. Gravenberch gets the ball in the half turn and just does a little bit of a shimmy and goes. Liverpool, by the way, the time of that final, Liverpool were dead on the feet. Like, you know what I mean?
The PSG match took so much out of them.
It was the PSG around the PSG game, and I think we fucking we were 1-0 down at Southampton at home at half time around that time, at that stage as well. So I just feel like the manager might think I need something different. That's all. He just might think I might need something different. I wouldn't be surprised if he kind of finished the game again with Szoboszlai in the 8th for his energy and his legs. But I think he started Verts. I think Liverpool got to win the game. I still think Liverpool have to try and win the game. But a point isn't the end of the world, is it? Is it like, you know what I mean? It's not the end of the world. Away at Newcastle, most teams won't be winning there. Again, it's Arsenal's bogey team. City won't go up there and probably get 3 points. So it's going to be, you know what I mean? It's going to be a really, really tough game. So I'm excited for the game. I can't wait.
I feel like that's why when it became 2-2 in that Bournemouth game, Gally, I mean, because normally, I mean, I was like, shit, this can't happen, because out of these 3 fixtures, this was the one that you had to get to 3, no questions asked. And then the other ones would not be the end of the world, like Cozzy said. Like, if you finished week 3 with 5 points, it would not be end of the world based on the fixtures, right? But I felt like, when it was 2-2, I'm like, yeah, that can happen. You cannot lose the point here, because that makes it that you have to win away at Newcastle and you had to beat Arsenal and stuff. And I don't know if you definitely want those hanging over you. That's why it was crucial to get those 3 points at the Bournemouth game, because you don't want to finish the 3 games with 3 points.
Yeah, I mean, it's first match at home, a Friday night to kick off the Premier League season. Your supporters are up for it. You give them a pretty good, exciting, energy-led first 20 minutes. Your, young new striker has scored a goal and made it a goal, right? Created a goal and scored a goal. It's a moment you're supposed to kick on from. We talked about it Monday. Cozzy shared it in Discord, right? Like, the manager has a nightmare with the 2 subs, the 2 fullbacks at once. Now, didn't give him any. I wanted him to start Robertson in the first match, not because I don't like Kirkez, but to Cozzy's point, he's been erratic at best. I thought having him to start against his first, with all the emotions of the Jota celebrations, you're playing against your former team. You play a little bit like a hothead, like. It was a perfect opportunity to sit and observe Anfield for 60 minutes as a Liverpool player from the bench, and then come on and play the last 30. And then, of course, everything gets thrown in to the muck with Frimpong at halftime saying he feels his hamstring, them saying, can you give us a few more minutes? And I guess he had waved to the bench like 5 minutes before, I got to come off. So I think that's why he made both subs at once, and Kirkez is on the yellow. So you bring out 2 fullbacks. It was not a good look. It wasn't a smart move. Could he have made it 10 more minutes and got Gomez in? Could he have stretched 10 more minutes out of Gomez and just brought him in? But he didn't trust Endo last season to play more than 10 minutes. And on the first week of the year, he trusted him. He trusted him to play right back a year older.
Honestly, we go back to those subs, but I honestly think it was not the back's faults in the goals. It was more about how we freaking attacked. Like, I just didn't understand.
No, I agree, but he didn't have the legs.
Klopp came back in charge too. He got a lot of heat for that. But the last goal, for example, that's
Jones
not a slot goal. Like, why are we pushing up everybody into the goddamn box?
That's fine. But then you don't put a 31-year-old centre midfielder right back. You could have put Szoboszlai and Jones. Honestly,
like we were talking about on Monday, when the sub was coming in, I kind of assumed, especially because what we did in preseason, I was like, Szoboszlai must be going to right back, and was going to go where he normally fits.
Tim, this is my argument here, right? It's not about I know what you're saying. The fullbacks didn't really have much to do with the goals, and that's completely fair. But what it did do is it gave Bournemouth confidence. It gave Bournemouth to go, we'll just target him, we'll run at him. We'll just have a go here and just play on the counter.
That's fair.
And that's what that does. That's the precedent that you set. You don't want to give, when you've got someone 2-0 up, I think the manager just got complacent. That's all. I think he thought the game was won. It's 2-0. That's Liverpool's standard score last season. It's 2-0 Liverpool. And I think he's got complacent, forgetting how good the opposition is. And by the way, I think Bournemouth are a really, really, really good team. I'm a big fan of them. He's got complacent. He's made the wrong sub when he should have just done Jones, or he should have just done Szoboszlai. Again, as Gally said, if he could have stressed in an extra 10, I understand for Gomez. I understand why he didn't want to do that, because he mentioned that in his presser. He said the medical team even told me not to play him. But
he was trying not to play him at all.
I know, not to play him at all. This is a point, though, Tim, when it comes back to the depth that we have. This is the depth. We didn't have Leone at the time. So, by the way, I don't want Leone coming on when Liverpool are 2-2, 20 minutes. It's your debut playing right back. It's fucking our ass on him. It's harsh. And then you look at Gravenberch being out the team and things like that. Liverpool do need options. Liverpool do need these choices. I'm not saying just at right back, by the way. I'm saying all over the field. You know what I mean? I still think Liverpool need a centre mid. I know that's like not be like a thing for someone, but I don't know about you, gents. I don't want to see Szoboszlai in that role anymore. I thought he was awful against Bournemouth. I thought he was really bad in the deeper role. But
yeah, I mean, you can tell he does some things that an attacking midfielder would do and not a defensive midfielder would do.
He delays himself too much on the ball. And I think sometimes that's what Gravenberch's biggest strength of, and Fabinho. They'll get the ball quickly off to the centre half, and they're picking the ball off. He likes to take 2 or 3 touches and get his head up. You haven't got time. You haven't got time. But Gravenberch is really good in the half turn, can look and get going. I don't think Szoboszlai is that type of player.
You almost have to know what's around you before the ball comes to you to be able to play that position. And I think that's something that, like, for example, like Wirtz has, even though he's the attacking one. But I don't think, like, Szoboszlai has that. Maybe that's why he feels, like in the Hungarian national team, he plays sometimes a wing and stuff like that, because he does not like receiving the ball with his back to the defense.
It would be one thing. We will see him in the deeper positions again this season. We know that. But it's one thing, I think, playing next to Gravenberch. I think trying to play in the Gravenberch role for him is almost asking. It's a step too far, because Mac plays in that like 6 to 8 world, but he's more of an 8, right, on that side. And I think when he is asked to play alongside Gravenberch, I think it'll look better. I'm kind of with Cozzy. I'd love a center mid. We're not going to get one because we have too much other work to do. We need 2 attackers, and we need, a center back. Like we need Mark Gahey, and we need Isak, and we need a body. Rodrigo. And I would love it to be Rodrigo. I still feel like there's this world that with like 2 days left, we find out we have a loan option to buy Rodrigo. And then on deadline day, we pull Isak in, and then everyone goes back to like the, George Burns, excellent, fingers memes going out there again from The Simpsons, and everyone gets all, here they go again. They're buying the league. I do love how we're buying the league, and Arsenal has now spent 140 million more than us in this window. That's always entertaining, and still hasn't sold a player for more than 35 million. I do think the first match is in the books. We secured the points. Good for Chiesa. They're saying all the right things. But to your point, Tim, as we look forward to Newcastle, talk about the transfers, whatever we talk about the last 30 minutes here, can you imagine what this week would have been like pressure-wise and the narrative around that match if they were up 2-0 and then ended up drawing that match? Like, that Chiesa goal is a lot bigger than people are actually giving it credit for being. And let's be fair, as good of a finish as it is, and it's good, his movement and getting his body right was the best thing about it, because he anticipated it, and it's something we've been missing, right? And we've seen it in Ekitike. But Mo Salah creates that goal. I mean, Mo Salah taking on 3 defenders, pulling everyone out to the right. They are shitting their pants as soon as Salah has that ball, and then he puts it in a dangerous spot. The keeper's a little weak. The defender could do better, but I don't know if it was just me. I know Bickler mentioned it, but I thought about it, and I've seen the highlight 100 times. I so thought Konate was going to block that ball off the line, like we've seen him do like 50 times in the past, where Konate just gets in the way. He barely gets out of the way. He's almost screening the keeper, and thank God he was onside.
Let me hit the comments real quick. Yeah, I mean, in some ways, it's a lot. I mean, the first match week is always going to be a lot of like overanalyzing and overreaction and stuff. We were talking about in the Rival Bros with my brother yesterday as well. Not sure, honestly. I don't know if you guys know that at all, but Dave says, no, he's not. I don't know if he's ever, I don't know if Bradley has ever been fit enough to take a high intensity Newcastle game. Definitely not for 90 minutes. I can remember maybe 1 or 2 games where Bradley has finished a game that he started, and that's probably because we couldn't get him out or we didn't have anybody or anything like that. He has usually come off 60, 70. Even when he was starting for Klopp a couple of times, he always did come out. Laurel, hey, what's going on, Laurel? Need a center back? Yes, we do. And no, I am not. No, I'm actually going
back, Tim. Give me your right back, Tim, for St. James's Park?
Soboslai.
Okay. And then so you're going to go Gravenberch, Macker, and Wirtz?
Yes.
Okay.
I think that's the way to go. And then Mo, Ikitike, Gakpo up top.
Are you doing Robertson?
I am doing Robertson, actually, just for the experience factor. I think I'm doing Robertson. And we talked about this, I think, last Friday when we were trying to predict the Bournemouth lineup. We said, you know, it's better to bring a guy like Kerkez in terms of his energy and stuff off the bench as opposed to like Robertson. If you need to, if you're chasing a goal or something like that at the end, especially. But Mikey J says, I feel like McAllister is more suited to this game. Need control and intelligence on the ball. Yeah, and that's why I think you put Mack and Gravenberch there. I think they're like the smart ones who can give some control over there. But this is interesting. I mean, it is Elanga going against Robertson. So speed will be a concern, but once experience will be. I don't know, man. Like Kirk is out of the first couple of weeks has really scared me with his overcommitting, and we saw what happened in the Palace game as well.
Yeah, he wants to stay on his feet a bit more. I think, like he's so easy to go to ground, Kirk, and he'll learn that. By the way, at Liverpool, you don't need to just stand them up, use your brain, use your intelligence, and by the way, back your pace. That's the reason why we signed you. Is back your pace.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Sometimes when players dive in, it's because they know they haven't got the pace to get back to the winger. Kirk has got pace.
Yeah.
So do you know what I mean?
But also, you gotta let the winger get the ball, and you know, like stop him afterwards. You don't have to like.
Robertson was quite good against Bournemouth. I thought he was all right when he came on, but also I thought Robertson was great towards the end of last season. I thought his last 7 or 8 games, I thought he really got his form back. Do you know what I mean? And he's kind of spoke about in the summer, like, yeah, they can sign a left back, but like I'm not giving up this position easily. Like he fancies himself. So do you know what I mean? Kirk has
nothing else. We still have Costas over there.
Oh yeah, don't forget. I'm sure, you know, to be honest, Costas might make the bench at this point. the depth that we've got. So, no, mate, I think Robertson's the right choice. I think you need the experience, especially with Szoboszlai on the other side. You know what I mean? Van Dijk doesn't need to talk Robertson through a game. Do you know what I mean? Like, he doesn't need to, like, he knows what he's getting out of him. And I think sometimes that helps you centre half when I know what I'm getting out of him next to me because I played next to him for 8 years.
If we want to win all the things we want to win, we can't be worried about Andy Robertson playing against Elanga as a reason not to play. And that's not slacking him off. But Kirkez wasn't brought in to start 60 matches. He was brought in, and he was also not brought in to be the savior at left back. He was brought in to become a Liverpool player in my opinion, to become a key player over the next few years. Like, part of the reason we spent the money on Kirkez, and part of the reason he was in the PFA Player of Team of the Season, which was kind of shocking, is there is a lack of quality overall across the league at the left back position. Like that, over the last few seasons, I think the fullback position, especially in the EPL, has changed because so many managers are trying to play the Pep style. I mean, so many are like Arteta playing 4 center backs so that they can defend in different ways with the inverts and it's not as many bombing forward like we saw when Trent and Raubo were at their highs, right? We got spoiled by having a top class left back that created goals. And I think we wanted to see that. And we all saw Kirkez's highlight reel last year. It was great. But I'm sure if you're a Bournemouth supporter, there was scratch your fucking head moments because that motherfucker is a scratch your fucking head type of footballer. I just think he is. Like, I think we're going to love him at times. And I think it's going to take time. And I personally, I don't think I would have started. If I could have, I would have started Robertson week 1, won the match, let him keep his shirt, but maybe Burnley or the League Cup is where he gets his first start. Like, I do think he'll sit this match, and I think he'll start against Arsenal. I'm more worried about him starting against Arsenal, to be honest, going up against Saka than I am here. But I think they'll take the athleticism and the pace and the speed for that match, and I think we will because they'll be trying to pin them back. But we'll get to Arsenal when we get there. But I'm not as down on Kirkez because I do think he's the easiest one to target right now because nobody wants to say anything about Wirtz because they see the raw talent. Ekitike is doing really, really well, probably better than people thought he would. And Frimpong is, you know, honestly, at this point, he was requirement because we didn't have another fit starting option. And he didn't play poorly, but he didn't do anything on Friday to pull up any trees. He actually looked like he was nervous to go forward. And I wondered if that was his hamstrings more than...
It could be his hamstring because he's not going to have the top speed and stuff. But what I like about Frimpong is He defends as a right back, so that's nice to see. Like there was a couple of give and goes. I was like, that guy was gone before. Now he's not, kind of a thing, because he cuts off the ball. By the way, if you're watching us live right now, and thanks a lot, by the way, for all the conversation, the chat, and everything like that too, especially on YouTube. Hit that thumbs up. Give us a like. If you have not subscribed to the channel, do that as well. I think we have like over 30 viewers right now, and I think we only have like 9 likes, so that's bad math. So let's get that up. Like I say, it really helps because then somebody who has not been exposed to this comedy gets to see us. So that's like the good deal over there. David says if Kirkus plays left back, put Robo on the right.
No.
No, man. He's
gonna,
like
the unwritten rule.
Robo is like me. He uses the other foot only to stand on. That's what I did with my left. I stood on it.
The unwritten rule of football: a right back can play left back, but a left back can't play right back.
Yes,
100%
since the dawn of time. So no.
Yeah, I'd be more apt to put Kirkez on the right than I would to put Robertson on the left. And I don't want to do that. I'm not advocating for that because if you start Robertson and he has to run all match, you probably need Kirkez to give you the last 15, 20 minutes of this thing. Like, I do think we'll see him, and that's fine. And that's a good thing. It's the depth we've been asking for years.
Yeah, Kirkez will come on. I've got no issue with Kirkez coming on, but just don't think he should start the game. I think an early yellow on do you see how he got booked against Bournemouth? What are you doing? It's the most ridiculous slide tackle ever. You can't be 4 down the first 15 minutes, can you? And get your left back booked. So I think we'll see him. Again, this is not us slating Kirkez. He's had a really rough start. I think he's been really poor, but we don't know how he's going to turn out. He turned out to be a top Liverpool left back, no problem. It's early days. It's his first few games. He's getting into it. That's fine. No worry.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I mean, I get the thing from Kirkez, and I've been kind of like saying it all week. It just felt like he went out with the mentality that I got to be physical. And sometimes when you just focus on being physical against like Semenyo, you forget everything else. I mean, that freaking like slide tackle he does, for example. And a lot of times where he goes into balls that he's not going to win, and that gets you out of position. It's just kind of like bad decision making. And I think that comes with when you just play for strength and playing like strong and powerful and stuff like that, you forget your regular technique and positioning. And I feel like that's what it is for him. But then he was going against his old team. It was Semenyo it was going against, so you got to give him that. But I mean, so you have to kind of like put it in a grade, like a scale, because he is going against like a top player. But at the end of the day, yeah, I mean, I go back to what you're saying, Cozzy. I'm kind of shocked at that aspect, Gally, because some of the tackles and the balls he goes into, I can see Robertson doing, because you can say, and I've been there as a slow defender, you're like, if this guy like flips the ball and he keeps going, I'm not catching him. So it's the ball or him is stopping right here, right now, kind of a tackle. Whereas Kirkez has the speed. So as a guy with speed, if you're playing against somebody slower or at your pace, you're like, you know what? Get the ball. We'll just run together down the wing if need be. I just don't understand why he kind of like over commits to situations. He's doing tackles that I would expect Robertson to do.
Yeah, I just don't think. I think the kid, someone in the comments, there it is. Someone said that Slot has recognized he needs to mature and made the comment in his press conference. That is the perfect word. And to be honest, we saw it in every aspect. He wasn't mature in the way he signed for the club with his brothers running around Liverpool drinking and like literally doing bottle shots and pours on like young girls in the city before he signed his contract. Like there were, I mean, his dad was literally trying to become like he was, you know, the ball kid, there's parents, that the guy that took over American sports media for about 6 months, or, you know, and had his 5 minutes of fame when his kids were coming to the NBA. Like there's something about Kirkez. It just screams, I need to grow up. There's an immense amount of talent in there, but there's a hot-headed little bit of arrogance. And I was never a defender. You know, I was a guy who like ran at defenders and kicked them from behind and tried to rile them up, see if I could get them sent off.
Oh, I would take your license plate number in a minute. Gally.
You absolutely would have cleared me out 5-6 times a match. And then when I scored, I would have taken my shirt off, as Cozzy says, and ran right at your family in the crowd. But it's the thing about Kirkez is he doesn't defend with his brain. And that's what frustrates me. Like that was such an unnecessary tackle. He did not need to go to ground. All he had to do was usher the player off. Yes, he's like, this guy's not getting by me. This guy's not getting by me. I'm just going to, you know, saw him off at the kneecap. And you're like, that's not going to work. And we can't have our left back, you know, on a card aggressively in the first half
fine.
against his former
How
team.
much of that is like that's his first? I mean, I know he didn't have the Jota emotions that some of the other ones had, Cozzy, but at the same time, this was their first serious game at Anfield for some of these guys. So that had to be a factor, I would think, on a young kid like Kirkes, for example.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it could be a bit of everything. Do you know what I mean? Again, he was poor at Wembley, he's poor against Bournemouth, but I don't want to say we can't speculate as to why. The manager, I think he needs to mature. I probably agree with that, to be honest. I think it's more the fact of stop making silly decisions and rash decisions. There's nothing worse to be as a Liverpool defender is making rash decisions and panicking. Sometimes you just like Van Dijk is very good at this. It's one of his strong points. He lets a striker take a shot from 25 yards. Beat that keeper in goal from 25 yards, no problem. You won't beat him. Like, I always remember the goal, actually, funny enough, against Newcastle away where Isaac scored last year. Do you remember it? 30 yards out on the turn. He just smacks the top in. I always remember Van Dijk looking at Alisson and went, sound. It's like, yeah, if you want to smash it in from 30 yards, top in, no problem, fella. Because I've stood up here, give you 3 yards. If you want to run at me, I'll out-muscle you and beat you for pace. And I'll have that wrestling battle with you. Kirkes, that's why I'm so very surprised when Gally said I was start Kirkes against Arsenal. I wouldn't. I think that's like a fucking recipe made for disaster. I think that could be the worst thing he could ever do. And the reason why I say that is you can't afford cheap free kicks against Arsenal. You just can't.
More than any team. You're absolutely right. I said I think he will start him.
Yeah. But I mean, that's all. I don't think the manager will start him, though. I actually see Robertson doing the next two. And then coming to Kirkes and going, we've got a League Cup third round game, which you can start whenever, whoever that's going to be, whenever that's coming up. And you'll maybe have a couple of Champions League games. The fixtures get a little easier. Do you know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't be starting against Everton, for example. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just not happening. So I just feel like we need to take our time. These are all new players. It's going to take some time. But Liverpool, and still, as much as we need time, we still need to win footy matches. Because you can lose the league now, in effect. If you lost your first 3 games and City won the first 3, it's basically game over. So you can lose the league. But if Liverpool's just ticking along nicely up until end of September time, and Liverpool 2-3 points at the top, or you know what I mean, then we're right in it.
I think so. This is a season where I felt the opposite last season because the strength was going to be like continuity and familiarity and everything like that. I felt like we had to start and build a lead early because we had the advantage of not having a bunch of new names in to kind of like, like bet in and stuff like that. This year feels different, Cozzy, mainly because of that, because you just got to be within touching distance. And then once everything clicks in, and I do have faith in Slot making everything click in, then you're going to really see the team like going like full speed. So with being within a couple of points would be good, man. I hope to God, I don't think we would ever see that again, because not only we saw what happens when you put Endo at right back, I think the entire Premier League saw what happens when you put Endo at right back. I think they were like, okay, we're going left, kids.
Gordon and Barnes would literally line up together, holding hands and just running at him the entire match.
Gordon Barnes
would never go in the box.
Gordon and Barnes will be standing there in the halfway line doing rock, paper, scissors till he goes next. Like that. Yes. Go.
Who's running at Endo? Yeah, I really don't think we see that again. I mean, that stuff is, I was talking about it in the preseason too. Some of that stuff is like cute in the preseason. Like, oh, look, Costas is center back and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, when it doesn't like get targeted and stuff like that, that stuff works, but not on a regular basis. Yeah, if Gomez was healthy, I think it was kind of like our common choice to have at right back. I did like what I saw from Frimpong, especially defensively. And now that we find out about the hamstring, it's very possible that he didn't push up because of that, or he was told not to push up. I mean, that could be tactical and not on him.
Or just the intensity of the game. It was just a very intense game of footy. Yeah. Let's be frank here. The wingers he's playing against in our league will be the best wingers he's ever played against.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, there's an argument. I know Kirkes
in fitness as well, I think, more than ability, right?
There's an argument next week that Eze could start left wing for Arsenal, and that'd be the best player Frimpong plays against if Frimpong was fit. That could be like that. You know what I mean? You're only at like Elise or Gnabry that he kind of would have played against in Bayern Munich, but other than that, that's the best player he's playing against. So I do think there's that as well. That it's just the intensity of the game. It's very early doors. We're still in pre-season technically, if you want to call it that. We're not even in the thick of the football yet. And he's had a little slight hamstring pull that happens, doesn't it? But his fitness record is usually bulletproof. So it's just a little couple of games and back after the international break. But before I want to mention this, lads. How fit is Isaac? Because I had this conversation last night on Thursday. How fit is he? So say if Liverpool sign tomorrow, when do you expect him to play a game?
I
After
don't
the
think he plays
international
till
break.
after that international break,
Which is
minimum.
4 weeks. So if Liverpool signed him on the end of next. Say they sign him on deadline day. Do you see him playing again after the international break, the first game or second? I don't. I think it's going to take a month to 6 weeks to get him right where you want him, which is wild, isn't it?
Hold on, let me look at the schedule.
It's
for you
almost
over
like you're signing him for January. You're just getting him now because you don't want him to wait till January because then he won't be ready till March.
He just can't be match fit. He just can't be. It's impossible. Like, as much as he's doing his own training schedule, like, do you want to start him against Burnley away? That seems like a barrel of laughs with Scott Parker, doesn't it? And then
No, I think you do see him start showing up like against Everton, Palace, like start doing 20 minutes, 30 minutes.
And he's
stuff
probably
like
only and now he's the understudy to Ekitike at that point.
Yeah.
But I feel a hell of a lot better if I'm Arne Slot looking down my bench and there's a world where maybe I have Gakpo and Ekitike or Gakpo and Isak sitting there on 70 minutes to come in for Rodrigo and Ekitike rather than on that 70-minute mark looking down there and going, I'm not playing that kid no matter how much the people in the COP want me to play him. He can just sit there and keep his training top on. You know, all right, I'll put the Italian painter in. Go ahead, Chiesa. Go do your thing. Let them sing your song and piss off the floor.
I don't even think he wants Rio on the bench. He doesn't want
I don't think so either.
I think he wants him.
Conversation. I just think he wants him outside out of mind.
Yeah, he wants him. I said it after the Community Shield. I said it Monday night. There were 2 back-to-back competitive matches that required a player to come from the bench and change it. And he didn't even consider the player. So, you know,
I don't think it's fair on Rio.
No, I agree. By the way,
you know what I mean?
But this is my point, though, gents, and this is what I made last night about you're saying it's not fair on Rio, and I agree with that. If Liverpool are left short up front, this isn't fair on Ekitike. Your kid's 23, coming from.
Oh yeah, I get you, but I mean, you know,
Liverpool.
based on experience, price tag, and everything, and expectation, I mean, Ekitike, for all points and purposes, came as the starter to this team.
But I don't think the club plan that. I think the club, as I've said to you from the start, the Liverpool will do both.
But I'm just saying. Well, I mean, Ekitike himself probably sees himself as the one that you know what I mean. But I don't think Rio says to himself, "I should be starting over Gakpo."
No, but he also hasn't played 65 games in a season. And this, you know what I mean? I just think it's harsh on the kid. I know the kid's had a good start, and no one's arguing that he started really well.
You're saying more harsh physically. I was more talking about physically and psychologically for Rio.
If Liverpool don't shine forward, let's just say Liverpool go, no, it's Isak or not, and we're getting him in January, right? Liverpool don't shine forward.
Yeah, that's not good. Let's not go there. But
that's not good because it's our last of Ekitike. You see more of Chiesa and Mo Salah goes to AFCON in December.
Yeah.
Like, this is why I'm saying, when people go, oh, Liverpool don't like to compromise on a plan B, they don't have a choice. Like, they don't have a choice. We have to sign a forward. You can at least play across the front 3, even if it's one. If that's Rodrigo, I have a weird feeling, and you might laugh at this, there could be a weird Pulisic deal or a Semenyo deal. Just someone who can play across the front 3, just to get them out of jail.
I would love a Semenyo deal. I would honestly. Here's the thing, though: you're losing Semenyo as well, aren't you, in AFCON?
Yeah,
he'll go. But what I'm saying is, though, you can at least split the time for Ekitike because Semenyo can do you down the middle. You can split the time, but you can put Gakpo down the middle and you can play him left wing sometimes. Semenyo, you can do that kind of diddle in certain games, you know what I mean? But Liverpool need a player who can play across the front 3. Like, this is not, and this is the reason why people probably haven't sold Harvey Elliott yet. This is probably the reason. So people might go, oh, we have no bids for Elliott. Trust me, mate. Liverpool are getting calls every day for Harvey Elliott. Let's not, especially Crystal Palace just be on the phone right now going, then they just lost Eze. Hey, it could be a lovely little piece if you want Mark.
I heard this morning, I think it was this morning, they said that the most concrete talks have been Leipzig, and that's his choice right now because they're guaranteeing the minutes, but they need to get Xabi Simons out the club. So if he goes, then the bid might come. And supposedly Spurs are kicking the tires again after missing out on Eze, Gibbs White, and knowing that and Madison's out for the year.
That could be a great signing, but again, if I was
Palace, by the way, if this is true, is it controversial for me to say I would rather have Semenyo over Isak price-wise versus
that's a little I think that is I think if you said I'd rather have him,
very controversial.
Yeah, I think if you said I'd rather have
unless you're signing him for 110 and stuff like 150 for Isak, I would rather do Semenyo for
they're going to pay 130 plus add-ons or 120 plus add-ons.
The price is going down every single day. The price will go down and tick away every single damn day.
And I don't know if you guys saw the quotes that came out this morning right before we went on air, but Eddie Howe did confirm. Like, They said they were putting him to the fire today, and he'd so far done the company line. And I think this is starting to show there's cracks inside that Newcastle camp. Eddie Howe wanted this done 2 weeks ago when he started talking about, like, he wanted the money, and he was like, listen, either give me Strand Larson, give me Nicholas Jackson. I don't care what two you give me. Give me a body that wants to play for this club, because I got a whole bunch of guys who want to train and get ready for a season. We're in the Champions League. We got to compete. And his comments today that he did have conversations, I'm going to keep what we talked about private, but Isak let me know his opinions on where he saw his career going. That right there is him admitting he told the club with weeks and months to go, and that everyone at the club knew. This is all about them failing as a club to sign players. In my opinion, they would have, if they had signed Sesko, I think if they had signed Sesko, maybe even got João Pedro and Liam Delap. But here's the thing. They could have had Delap. All they had to do was deposit his release clause. He probably would have signed, but they let Chelsea come into the fray. They could have had João Pedro, but they didn't want to pay what Brighton wanted, and then Chelsea chumped up the change. Sesko was never going to happen because it was clear he wanted United. He was chasing it, and they would have been in this situation in 3 years because Sesko wanted a release clause because he believes that he can go to like a Real Madrid or a Barcelona someday. And he saw them as a stepping stone, and they didn't want to get sucked into it. They're going to get Strand Larson and Vissa, and their supporters are going to try to rally around that, but they're not paying $65 million for a Premier League striker and sitting him on the bench. I don't believe it.
Cozzy, you think the price is going down? See, my fear is the price is going up, and that's why I'm like, go get Semenyo and Rodrigo. I'm just as happy.
The last thing, those players do not want him even coming into the training ground. They don't even want to fucking look at him. And I think that's when the skipper might just go to the manager and go, we need this doing now, get him gone. Just like, we don't care. But I think Eddie Howe wanted the dough. I agree with Gally. I think he wanted the money. I think he was like, Sound, I'll sell you 4 weeks ago. We could have dealt with all this now and got some money in the bank. The problem is with Newcastle, it's such a poorly run football club at the moment in terms of they have no sporting director, and I think the manager and the ownership, or the boardroom, let's say, have two different ideas of what they wanted to do. And I think that's a really straight a kind of atmosphere to be in. There's a part of this where if you're Eddie Howe and you go, I'll get the 150, and let's just say it was 150 4 weeks ago, it's 150. We get the 150 in. You just mentioned all those players that they didn't get a sign, but I don't see them being like with Harvey Elliott, even a Darwin Núñez when he was there for 40-odd million. That would have, you know what I mean? Like, I thought that was pretty good money for a Núñez, to be honest. Like, as much as I didn't rate him at all, but I thought the club might take a chance on him because of his age. But you're going to spend 65 million as Strand Larson. Are we all sure about that? Are we all sure? Like Newcastle, do we need to shake your heads here and go, are you sure this is the right move? Strand Larson for 65? Are we?
Dude, Larson for 65 is freaking crazy. What did they get him for? 20?
20-odd million.
They bought him for 27 2 months ago.
Yeah, 2 months ago. So,
like, it's not like he's been so good that doubled in price. Like, what the hell?
Right, so this is my argument. So even Newcastle, Ollie Watkins has been for sale for 12 months. He's been for sale for 12 months. If you go in and put the 50-60 million on him, but you drive a sign Strand Larson, why don't you just go sign Ollie Watkins and go and get yourself out of jail for a few years? Anyway, the club's so poorly run in that aspect. But the Isak thing, again, it's not an easy deal to do. It's a very, very difficult deal for Liverpool. Liverpool are out their comfort zone. Let's get it right. Liverpool are not breaking British record transfers. I know we just technically, if you want to, for the Wirtz. But Wirtz was very much eager to come. The club were very much eager to sell and buy a Leverkusen. They were like, 100 million. Bring us the money. Bayer Leverkusen did not want to sell him to Bayern Munich. So they would just, you know what I mean? Wirtz kind of falls into Liverpool's lap in that aspect. You're dealing with a club where a player wants to go, but he has 3 years left on his deal. Again, the agent should be sacked for signing that deal. That is one of the worst deals.
Yeah, true.
Genuinely. 6-year deal at 23 with no buyout clause is absolutely ridiculous for the club. You have no
23-year-old, that is really stupid.
Yeah, I have no affinity to. It's absolutely wild. Then it's not as easy, gents, as like just give them the 150 million. That's not how football works. That's not how transfers work. There's also a part in these, again, I explained this last night on the Thursday show for our newer audience into the game. When you sign a player for 100 million, it's a 5-year deal, you pay off the transfer fee over the 5 years. That's how this works. For the newer fans, 90% of transfers work. Liverpool will probably be playing Bayer Leverkusen 20 million a year for Wirtz.
Yep.
That's how this works over a 5-year deal. So as it stands right now, if it is 150 million, Liverpool will be playing 30 million for over a 5-year deal. But Newcastle will go and give us 70 million up front first, and then we'll pay off the rest. They'll give us 80. That could be a part of the negotiation. Then Liverpool are like, I don't really want to do that because if Rodrigo comes available for 60, we haven't got the cash to pay them 40-odd million. And then we've got Mark Gay, Palace are asking for all that 35 million up front because they want to go and sign a centre half. Liverpool don't have 150 million cash sitting in the bank that they can just go and give to a football club and go, there's 100 cash for your one foot. That's not how it works. It's unrealistic. It's going to take time. It's going to take a lot of effort from the club to get it done. But I think Liverpool will get it done. I really do think Liverpool will sign him.
I mean, that's the thing. I guess that's my biggest fear. That's why I'm trying to find alternatives, and I'm okay with Semenyo and Rodrigo, is because I just worry that we're going to wait, and we are short up top, and I just don't want. You don't start the transfer window like this and finish it off with like, it didn't pan out. We'll wait till January.
Give me your wild card forward that Liverpool might sign if Isak doesn't get done. I'm talking wild card, something completely out there when you're like, because I've had one in my mind for a while, and it's Pulisic. And you can laugh all you like.
Oh my God! Please.
That's why it's the wild card. That's why it's the.
I'm just too tired.
Listen to me. Can I explain myself?
Well, Tim. To be fair, and I mean, he hasn't just played well. He's actually made the team of the year 2 years in a row. And I know the league's different, but he's been. But it's not just that he's been really good, like really good, and he's been good in Europe too.
And if Liverpool. Michael Evans.
I don't want him. I don't think he'll come. I think he's too smart to come back to the Premier League. I think his career took back off, and he's back at the point where he's considered a top 50 forward probably in Europe right now. And but that's also, the thing. Like,
the reason why I'm saying it, Gal, let me interject before we go, right? Because the reason why I'm saying it, Michael Evans is very clear. If you're on the list, you very rarely leave the list. And he was on the list. He's 27.
That's why Rodrigo's still there. Rodrigo was the top of the list, and he's never left.
That's why. So when you're on the list, he's had double-figure goals for the last 2 seasons at AC Milan, one of their best players. He's 27. He's a great age, 28, I think. So he's a great age to come in and start play now, and he can play across your front three. So that's all I'm saying. It's a wild card, Tim. I'm not saying Liverpool should sign Pulisic, but
he'll just sit next to Gomez in the training room. That dude does not have the body for the Premier League. And I think that's why Gally is right. He will stay at Serie A, because I think he knows that. He just doesn't have the body and the physicality for the Premier League.
If you gave me the true wild card, like out of the blue, if the reports are true that the release clause is 125 million,
that's a wild card for 125.
Yeah, that's not a wild card. That's expensive. What you got? Holland.
It's Julian Alvarez. He has 125 million, and
Alvarez.
I know we're not, and you said wild card.
Yeah, I like it. It's not a wild card though. We are linked.
Well,
he wants realistic wild card.
We were linked, and really, I mean, there are all those conspiracy rumors out there that he only went to Atletico Madrid and demanded the release clause because Liverpool wanted to buy him last summer, and City refused to sell him to Liverpool. But then again, I've heard people say, why doesn't Newcastle just go and spend the Isak money on Alvarez? If a guy leaves Manchester because of the weather, my bet is his next destination after leaving Madrid isn't Liverpool or Newcastle.
Yeah, that's the only thing, because that's what I had heard. Otherwise, he'd be a great
you said
option,
wild card. I mean, I think he would be a great player for Liverpool.
Give me a wild card, Tim. Give me one.
Man, I got to think about that. I don't know much about
at
all.
Liverpool need a forward. That's a fact. If they don't do Isak, we're going to see something.
Obviously, we can't count Rodrigo or somebody like that. Somebody I want. Steven is here. Speaking of Newcastle, see, he heard his ears were ringing, so he's here. Good morning, man.
By the way, I'm just going to, while you're thinking, I just checked the last couple of seasons for Serie A. Pulisic plays 36 games in his first, 12 goals, 2 assists. Last year, he plays 34, 11 goals, 5 assists. They're pretty good numbers. So if I said to you, it wasn't Pulisic, it was some lad from Ghana, and you know what I mean? And I said, there's his stats and figures, but there's his injury issue. Would you go for it? You'd go, yeah, he's interesting. You would.
Not if he has been in Premier League before and you've seen him, though. I think that's the difference over here.
Like players like Mo Salah have been in the Premier League and Kevin De Bruyne in there. Yeah, they all come
but that's different. That wasn't just like performance. I'm talking about more like his injury history and stuff like that.
One bad injury
in the Premier League.
He had one bad injury, which is the knee in the last year. When he did his knee, I think in the last year. I think.
I know, man. He was not available half the time. Am I remembering this wrong, Gally? The Gally's pulling it up, or Gally's letting the Google machine work. By the way, let's talk about this real quick. I got to think of the wild card. Meanwhile, I'm going to buy myself some time over here because I got to come up with a good one. Yeah, I can't think of a good one now. Okay. Tomorrow's game. 6:30. By the way, I want to ask the chats over here as well. Who's going to wake up with me? Mind you, most of you guys are on a different time zone. But if somebody's going to wake up with me, I do want to wake up. It's 6:30 a.m. over here.
I hope you wake up.
Mr. Barrett says Yildiz. Nah, I love the kids, but I don't think he's good enough for Premier League. At least yet. I don't think so. I don't think he's as good in tight spaces and stuff like that. He will be like a Nunez, is how I envision him right now. But he's like very young and he's getting better and better.
I'd say Arda, but I don't want to get you going too much and say my wild card is getting Arda out of Real Madrid because you might sell your house if there was a way to get Arda to Liverpool.
Yeah, but I mean, he's not a striker for a while. You got Veers. The Arda dream is over.
That's true.
You got Veers, so the Arda dream is over. And I think, honestly, Arda is going to be probably playing a lot more now over there now that Xavi is in the house because he's more of a favorite than he was before with like Ancelotti. And not to mention, he's had an experience for 1 year. But who's waking up with me tomorrow for a live watch-along of City versus Spurs? Cozzy, I know you're not because it's 4:30 your freaking time over there.
Yeah.
But what do you guys think of that game? I guess we were talking about Rival Bros. By the way, if you have not watched Rival Bros, it's not a live show, but do go and if you're subscribed to our YouTube channel. It's me and my brother, who's the United fan, talking Premier League in general. So we were talking about this, and in the earlier we were talking about which one said more, the City win or the Tottenham win. Well, this weekend, how much will it show in terms of if City are for real or how good Tottenham is? What do you guys think? Or is it still too early?
I think it's too early. I still think it's too early, really.
Yeah, I'd agree. I don't think you can glean anything out of this yet. Even like, will anyone be shocked if Burnley beats Sunderland 2-0 tomorrow just because they're at home? Like Sunderland, yes, they look great and they've spent well.
No.
But they were at the Stadium of Light. We all know that's a great fan base. They get behind their team. It was their first match back in the Premier League in 9 years after getting all the way to 15th at one point, I think, in League One, as their lowest point that they dropped to. I mean, I'm not shocked about that, but I won't be shocked if Burnley wins. I wouldn't be shocked if West Ham showed up and got a result against Chelsea.
No, but I think like the City thing is totally different to me. Like the City and Tottenham in terms of like how real they are. I mean, it's impossible right now. This is a great time to play parlay, kids, by the way, because the ratio is going to be all over the place. But like for that game, in terms of like with the new people and how well they're going to be, what will we see from that game?
I'm all in on Spurs getting something. And that's not me being kind of biased or anything like that, because I want them to. I just think they have been tailor-made. I really like them on the counter. I think Kudus is a great bit of business. Richarlison gets a couple of goals. I'm not his biggest fan. But didn't he just sound like Paulinho as well?
He's in line to start tomorrow. They were talking. Frank was talking about it.
So it's a really good centre mid as well. And I just feel like they have a lot of pace. And I've been a big fan of Spurs, as you know, Tim, for a while. I'm probably Spurs' biggest fan. I think they'll finish in the top 6 still this season. I think they've got a really good players. I like Solanke, of course, and Solanke's a great option off the bench at the moment. Tell's a good player. Bentancur's a good player. I just think they have really good players. And I just think
looked really good in the first match. Like Kudus was everywhere. He created both goals. I mean, he was really good. And Brennan Johnson does what he does. He's invisible. He's invisible for 45 minutes, and he pops up out of nowhere, making a run, scores a goal, and you're like, Brennan Johnson's playing today.
Yeah.
I think the thing that bodes well for Spurs is how well they altered their system when they played PSG in the Super Cup and how good they looked trying to play with that back three and playing compact and absorbing PSG's pressure in possession. And I think they kind of put a blueprint out there. The one thing I will say about City is, the big fella looks like he's up for it and looks like he's back to, wanting to score goals. He had 2 big chances. He scored 2 goals, had missed one other. Like I do think Reinders makes them a balance, and Oscar Bob, classic Pep. They sign all these players, and then he goes out and starts Oscar Bob and Doku, and you're like, what the fuck is going on? So I don't know what lineup we'll get. I think the Reinders kid did look good. I have a feeling City's going to get all 3 points here, but I wouldn't be shocked if Spurs found a way. And God, did they look just a much more organized, professional group of players with Thomas Frank instead of Ange.
See, I want to
play
see them.
on
That's
the
why
opponent
I
box.
want to. So the people are going to be up with me. So Hassan, that's a promise. Why are you always up at 4 a.m., by the way, man? But yeah, do join us. So Hassan is going to be here. If I wake up and you guys not in the chat, there's going to be a problem come Monday morning. I'm telling you guys right now. So I expect at least Tony and Hassan to be in there. And David, I hope to God you're wrong, man, because I don't want to get up at freaking 4:30 in the morning, 6:30 in the morning for like a 1-0 game. Yes, that's more like it. That's what I'm hoping for. I think just because it's maybe I'm thinking the old Spurs, I'm going with Mr. Barrett is saying over here that I do expect more goals in that game. I expect like a really fast-paced, solid game. So wake up with me. I'll be here. I'm trying to drag somebody from American Scouser with me. Maybe Matush will join for the first half, he said. So yeah, be here for the watch along tomorrow morning. Thanks a lot for everybody hopping in this morning. But before we go, give me a prediction for this tomorrow's game. What am I waking up to? We'll definitely talk about Newcastle game Monday morning anyway. But Cozzy, what am I waking up to tomorrow?
1-1.
God damn it, Cozzy. Okay.
No, I know.
I mean, no, don't get me like I'll take a City point loss, but I'm hoping for more entertainment, I guess. Gally, what do we have?
I would root for Cozzy's 1-1 or a 1-0, 2-1 victory for Spurs. For some reason, I think you are going to get goals. I think you'll get drama. It just kind of feels like one of those like 3-2 matches. It'll probably be 2-2 late, and they'll be trying to hang on, and then somebody will pop up with one of those goals, and City will score in the 85th minute, and Frank will say, "We learned a lot today. We can only get better from here." All the right things, right?
Yeah.
He'll say, and I can't do. I'm not going to do the Thomas Frank voice, because if I do the Thomas Frank voice, I'm going to give all those people out there the Kermit memes that they want. Yeah. Like, because Thomas Frank literally sounds like like Kermit did a helium balloon and then gave an interview anytime he talks. So I'm going to say,
Cozzy, while you were gone, you missed that Gally has been appointed as the Kermit of American Scouser. So
I just had a visceral they had a visceral reaction to one of my takes on a short, and it caught steam and it went viral. It had, I think, 150,000 views, and at least 100,000 of them decided that I was an absolute fraud, which, I mean, those people,
dude, they were like Kermit. There were Kermit memes and stuff.
Yeah,
and the funniest thing is, we talked about this.
Didn't even get it, to be honest.
In New York, when we were like talking about this, so I actually recorded the video. Maybe I'll share it over here one of these days. But we talked about this because this was when we were in at Carragher's Foundation in New York. So when we went out to dinner, I even showed Paul and stuff like that when we were laughing about it. So we do the podathon. I swear, the next day we're in Central Park, and there's a dude in the middle of the park singing the Kermit song. And I was like, dude, I was dying. I was in tears. Angie and I were like laughing our ass off. I video recorded it, and I did submit it for trademark infringement. I was like, my buddy's song. Don't be singing that song.
If you can't laugh at yourself, you can't laugh at anything. Life is too short to take things seriously, especially trolls on the internet. So as I say all the time, if you make videos like this or you put out opinions, hope 50% agree with you, hope 50% disagree with you, and then 0% of the people change the fucking channel. So I appreciate you all. Keep the hate flowing. I got no problem with it, so it was fun.
I'll see you boys over here, especially those of you, but anybody who wants to hop on, just turn off the sound of TV. We'll just watch the game and yak. So thanks a lot, boys. Thanks to everybody in the chat. Hit the likes up. We still on the path 14, so that's still not great math, but I appreciate you guys being in there. Thanks a lot as always, and I'll see you guys bright and early tomorrow morning. Have a great Friday, everybody. Take care.